Good morning, my name is John, and this is the Homestead Diary. So, reviewing our notes from the training this past weekend, and came across something kind of unrelated, but definitely very important to know and research. And so, it has to do with how to neutralize poison in insect and snake bites. And apparently in 1988, June of 1988, an article was published in Outdoor Life magazine that talked about the use of electricity to neutralize these bites. Now, if you think back to high school science and you think about how you perform electrolysis to create oxygen and hydrogen out of water, the idea is the same. If you introduce electricity to the bite area, it will break down that which is liquid and turn it into a gas. At least that's what I understand is how it works. Now, how do you do this? Well, the recommended way that he was talking about is using a stun gun. Now, stun guns have different, obviously, strengths and amounts of voltage that are sent through them. But what he was suggesting in particular with the stun guns is you discharge it, where you push the button, it goes zzz, and then there is a residual charge in the electrodes, and that is what you use to neutralize the poison. And so you shock the patient 4 to 5 times right around the area of the bite, and apparently it's supposed to break the poison down into its constituent parts so that it doesn't cause a problem. And so I've never heard of this before. I've never researched it at all, obviously. I guess a friend of ours has looked into this very briefly as an aside as he was researching different poisons having to do with, the whole thing and how do you neutralize that. And so apparently it's a thing. I don't know a whole lot about it, but again, Outdoor Life magazine, June of 1998. I would definitely recommend checking it out. I intend to. And anecdotally, there were several stories of people who had bites. I guess it was his daughter or his daughter-in-law or something like that had a black widow bite, and either he or someone who was visiting her was able to neutralize the bite. Also, there was apparently an EMT that he knew of who was able to deal with a cottonmouth bite. A guy got bit in his arm. He showed up to take care of the guy, and he was all swollen up and in pain, and the EMT shocked it in a circle around the bite 4 or 5 times, and within a half an hour there was significant reduction in the swelling. The pain was disappearing, and within an hour there was hardly any sign that there had been a bite. And so maybe there's something to it, maybe there's not. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but definitely worth looking into. I mean, if you get a bite, and what's the worst that can happen if you're hitting yourself with some low voltage? It's a little uncomfortable and it doesn't do anything. But maybe it does. And maybe it's something to explore. Maybe it's something to take a look at. I've heard apparently that the newer stun guns don't have a residual charge in them the way the older ones, so that's a consideration. I also heard of a story of a guy who I think he was out in the woods with a friend cutting some trees down, and he got bit by something, a snake, whatever. And they used the shock from the spark plug of the chainsaw. Pull the plug, it's still attached to the wire, pull the start cord, and it sparks. And apparently that was able to neutralize that bite as well. So don't think it's just got to be a stun gun. Now, as far as the amount of voltage that's necessary, I have no idea. But there very well could be something to it. I would encourage you to explore it and check it out. Anyway, hope you all have a blessed day.